watching the IUP TV News Bulletin, bringing you stories relevant to IUP and the Indiana community on Channels 6 and 20.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on this Thursday, October 13th. I'm Matt Palumbo.
And I'm Hannah Caminetti, coming to you this evening in association with WIUP News.
Contractors and residents are celebrating the completion of a water renovation project in Indiana County. This is in response to multiple reports showing up in recent years of high contamination levels in older wells and systems. These minerals included high levels of lead and copper, which Penvest responded to by providing over $10 million for the operation. Project manager John Emerson tells the public that a new 20-mile pipeline that channels water from Plumville to Marion Center will be supplying 450 new homes and the Marion Center School District.
The Indiana Theater in downtown Indiana has hosted many different events over the years, ranging from productions of the Indiana Players to movies and even some churches where tenants of the building use it as a worship space. The building is now getting ready to be transformed into a concert venue. Organizers are also preparing to hold a concert series at the theater in the 600 block of Philadelphia Street. Charles Olson is organizing the effort to bring bands into the theater and is also working to get the theater into shape to hold these events once again.
The Pennsylvania Department of Education has announced that more than $1 million in It's On Us PA grants are available to colleges, universities, and other post-secondary schools in Pennsylvania. It's On Us PA is a statewide campaign that invites education leaders in all Pennsylvanians to be a part of the solution to protect students and employees from sexual violence. Since 2016, the Wolf administration has awarded 225 It's On Us PA grants, totaling nearly $6 million to 84 post-secondary institutions, including public and private 2-year and 4-year colleges and universities.
About 8,000 items left at the Pittsburgh International Airport are hitting the auction block this month. The annual Allegheny County Airport auction returns on October 22nd at the Heavy Equipment Building on Cargill Road. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. and the bidding starts at 10:30. The auction has what you would expect hurrying travelers to leave behind. This includes jewelry, books, hats, water bottles, and even unexpected items like a security surveillance system and a rice cooker. An item is held for 30 days in the lost and found, and then it will go to the auction if it does not get claimed. The airport said that it takes over 2 days to sort through all of the items that go up for auction.
Biden administration officials on Tuesday previewed the Department of Education's student loan forgiveness application process, which they said would be easy, straightforward, and resistant to fraud. The application process has been delayed slightly by the government, but officials believe applications will be available to the public sometime later this month. Under the forgiveness plan, people who made less than $125,000 in the year 2020 or 2021 tax year, or less than $250,000 as a couple, will be eligible to cancel up to $10,000 in federal student loan debt, or up to $20,000 for people with Pell Grants for low-income families. The program is expected to apply to 43 million Americans, with 20 million having their debt completely wiped out, according to White House officials.
The Safeway World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off declared Travis Geiner's pumpkin the winner on Monday. The pumpkin weighed in at 2,560 pounds. The top 4 pumpkins, each over 1,500 pounds, will be on display at the Half Moon Bay Art and Pumpkin Festival this weekend in Half Moon Bay, California. Geiner's winning pumpkin will also be in a parade and photo booth. A lot of the growers share and sell seeds. Therefore, the ones from Geiner's biggest pumpkin are in tremendous demand. That's according to officials running these events.
Nuclear expert Laura Rockwood says U.S. President Joe Biden's Armageddon warnings could become a reality, but we're not on the brink of nuclear war yet. Biden's warning comes following concerning comments made by Russian President Vladimir Putin that he would use all available means to defend Russian territory. Rockwood also states that since Russian forces have been depleted during their conflicts in Ukraine, Putin may more likely to dispatch nuclear weapons. Experts also believe that North Korea is a threat for nuclear attacks due to its hostile relationships with the United States and Russia. President Biden also stated that this is our greatest threat to nuclear war since the Cuban Missile Crisis, which has many Americans worried.
People's Liberation Army researchers say China's aircraft carriers will be able to use hypersonic weapons thanks to a breakthrough in logistics technology that simplifies and speeds up repair and maintenance of the weapons. These weapons are designed to be launched from aircraft, not a carrier. They can go after a wide range of high-value targets in the air or on the surface. They could also increase the combat range of China's carrier fleet to more than 2,500 kilometers about the distance from the east of Taiwan to Guam with ultra-fast airstrikes that could penetrate most air defense systems. Coming up, how the community is coming together to ensure its future.
Let's talk about mental health. Not many people realize that your mental health is just as important as your physical. As college students, many different factors can contribute to poor mental health, such as the pressure to succeed, financial instability, social media, and poor health habits. So how do you maintain good mental health? Exercising multiple times a week, eating better on a daily basis, drinking less, and setting achievable goals for yourself are great ways to stay on top.
The term sustainable can be defined in many ways, depending on how you approach it.
That's why Stoker Wyzorek is here to tell us what officials were talking about the past weekend at the IUP Hub.
According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, sustainability is defined as a societal goal that broadly aims for humans to safely coexist on planet Earth over a long time. Steps being taken to reach this goal were discussed at the Indiana County Sustainable Economic Development Summit in IUP's Hub, Ohio room.
Will people down the road have the quality of life that we experience? And how can we ensure that that happens? Will my children, right, have a world that is kind of safe and healthy to be living in and raising their own children in?
Multiple parties participated in the event with information addressing these hurdles. There was also a show of EVs outside the building, their types ranging from hybrids to completely electric automobiles. Environmental advocates say that these machines can make a huge difference in slowing the effects of global warming, this being caused partially by combustion vehicles. Pollutants produced by the exhausts include carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, nitrogen oxides, organic compounds, and sulfur dioxide.
I would also say that building energy resiliency through diversification, promoting more sustainable agricultural practices. Those are some of the programs that we really try to promote.
Fortunately, some companies like Chevrolet, Apple, Amazon, and Ford are moving to other more eco-friendly alternatives. Looking at companies producing mass amounts of power through renewable resources, there comes both pros and cons. For example, wind and solar farming, which are at the mercy of weather patterns, while hydroelectric methods being slightly less prone to this, but while restricting the mobility of wildlife in streams and rivers if not planned carefully.
The truth of it is that right now it still is something that most people cannot afford, right? And that's a problem. So I think what needs to happen is not just this technological innovation, which is amazing, but it has to be social innovation. How do we make this technology accessible to people?
Advocates like IUP's Dr. Poole say that aside from the slow technology development, benefits will eventually outweigh the challenges and can become a stable, long-term investment. In Indiana County, Stoker Wyzorek, IUP News.
Still ahead, looking at our radio station as it celebrates 53 years of airtime.
But first, a special day of the year and how the LGBTQ community is celebrating it. After this.
Let me tell you something. Whatever it took you to get here will take you anywhere you want to go. You may not have it figured out right now, and that's okay. There are people here who do, and they believe in you. But you gotta put in the work. And if you go all in, if you commit to something bigger, IUP will take you further than you ever imagined. Because it's not about who you are when you arrive. It's about who you become. IUP. Grow here.
For most people who do, coming out is way more than just a challenge. It can be scary not knowing if the people you love will support you.
Yes, Anna, and our reporter Frey Heidi says this topic is one that many people in the LGBTQ community are thinking about this week.
Hi, I'm Josie. I'm a transgender woman. I'm an English education major here at IUP.
My name is Brian Doyle. I'm a history major, and I'm bisexual, and I go by he, they.
So my name is Callie Bland. I go by she, they pronouns. I am an anthropology political science dual baccalaureate, and I am the current LGBTQIA internal affairs senator for IUP student government.
What is coming out?
I think if I was asked this question maybe a year or two ago, it would mean something very different than it does to me now. I think coming out is like a tightrope act of being my genuine self and understanding how to find safety in a situation.
Coming out means a couple of different things to me. I came out a couple of different times, through my life. So really it was personally coming to terms with the fact that I was different than other people, and coming to terms with my identity and that it was okay to be who I was.
Coming out to me, I think, means I think there's a couple different stages of coming out. I think first you sort of have to come out to yourself and either grapple with what your identity is.
For many queer folks, it can be both difficult and liberating to open up to loved ones about their authentic self, which is why, starting in 1988, queer folks designate October 11th as National Coming Out Day. This day celebrates those who have come out and reflects on how queer people throughout history led the collective community. IUP is no exception, with queer students reflecting on what the institution has done for the advancement of queer folk, especially with the recent completion of the Rainbow Walkway, a symbol of, quote, IUP's commitment to making all people feel welcome and supported on campus.
I think that the flagpole and the walkway are great starters. I don't think it's ever really going to be enough for queer inclusion until there's really no question about it. Again, there needs to be a lot more representation of students, especially of queer identity. As long as we're addressing those issues and we're continuing to represent queer people as queer people by queer people, I think we're going in the right direction.
However, not all share in this optimism.
Definitely expect more. They're nice. Maybe the university could better focus its attention on actual bigots on campus and keeping the preachers that'll come on campus and disparage queer people because of their religious beliefs, that's pretty hostile.
Blanton Mussel, IUP Center for Multicultural Student Leadership and Engagement, is working on solutions to student concerns.
I know Pride Alliance has been working closely with Title IX to educate students that they do have options to get these people off of campus.
For now, IUP wants students both in and out of the closet to know that they are heard, and they will always be welcome here. In Leonard Hall, Frey Heidi, IUP News.
This past Sunday marks the 53rd birthday of 90.1 WIUP FM radio. Here's a look from IUP's Michael Surma on the station's culture.
College radio began as a non-commercial educational station, where alternative rock made REM, U2, and The Cure famous. In 1968, IUP built a new radio station and signed on air October 9, 1969 from Davis Hall. WIUP-FM offers multiple styles of music including rock, country, pop, jazz, hip-hop, and more. It is a community radio station run by volunteers.
Well, the upgraded technology, which is the automation system that you might be able to see in frame here, has helped us bring a lot more flexibility to operations. It's allowed us to be on the air pretty much 24/7 these days, thanks to being able to tap in remotely and coordinate programming, update playlists, update the music library, and things of that nature. So it's allowed us to be a lot more consistent in terms of what we put over the air. As far as programming changes are concerned, this semester we've moved away from strip programming, which means every day the same time slot is the same type of program, same format. And instead we've gone for more free-form format, which allowed students to be a little more creative, a little more open in terms of how they want to shape their shows. And so that's helped to bring a lot more students into the station to get involved, and it's also helped to bring a lot more diversity to the airwaves as well. We know that our competition at this point isn't just other radio stations, but it's all the other media that are available online, right? Students and everybody else has access to all the recorded music that's commercially available on streaming services. Why are people going to listen to our station? And so we hope to do that through partially going back to the diversity of our programming, offering music and content that is not available in other radio stations, but also in terms of allowing those students to produce their shows in a way that is curated and put together and has some effort and thought behind it, and also through the personality of them, of those DJs. And otherwise, we hope to continue doing campus events to gain more listeners, gain more exposure, and working with other student groups.
Here at WIUP-FM, DJs create their own shows. There are also off-air members who manage the station's website, choose new music, and produce promos.
Yes, I do enjoy hosting the news show. I like that we're trying to get lesser-known artists' names out there and play their music. I think that's pretty cool.
Many students can participate, and it is easy to become a member of the organization.
So I DJ a show every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and I mainly play classic rock. And then also add some rotation hits in there. And I'm also in charge of the website, and I also run the social media for the station. I started out sophomore year, I believe it was, with my own show. And then I think I was also a member of the web team and the music team, where we tried to find new music for the station. And then once our web director left, I took over that role.
WIUP-FM brings an engaging learning experience. Any student from any major can participate. Reporting from Davis Hall, I'm Michael Thurma for IUP TV News.
Next up, a local town with some important history going back to the 17th and 18th century.
And what plans the IUP rugby team has for this season.
The Penn Student Newspaper is where students at IUP and members of the surrounding communities can catch up on the latest news about the weather, sports, culture, politics, and everyday events in Indiana. You can find such news articles on their website, thepenn.org. There you can also view their multimedia page full of videos and skits revolving around current trends on campus. Wanting to advertise your business? The Penn has you covered for that as well, with spots in their newspaper and videos. You can access all that and more at thepenn.org.
Ever wonder how things started here or how long they've been around? Look no further than this story by our Stoker Wyzorek about an event happening this weekend in Ligonier, Pennsylvania.
History, community, and everything in between. These are a few of the many things that you can expect at this festival. A lot of people have been waiting for the return of this annual celebration.
Just brings back the memories of the war. French and Indian War is what it's all about. And the crafts and vendors and everything, the parade.
Among the most anticipated programs is the parade. It may look like most others you have seen before. The difference this year? It was 15 minutes shorter. However, the participants are similar. This includes the Fort Ligonier staff and actors who carry on past knowledge, the Syrian Shriners, Smokey the Bear, animals like horses and dogs, veterans and high school marching bands from abroad. Some attendees expressed their thoughts on the event.
The excitement, the crowds, the activity, it's nice.
It means a lot for the merchants here because this is one of their big weekends.
Every year, Fort Ligonier Days brings roughly 100,000 people to the area. Smaller numbers were expected by some due to COVID-19. Those who did come said what they thought would be different this year.
This year is different. I think it's less people, but I think it's everything, looks like everything coming back.
Fortunately for businesses like the PGH Crepes Food Truck Company, the future is looking brighter as demand is coming back, says the founder and owner Ilmer Ametsyanov.
I think it's going to be same again and it's going to be better in the future.
Like most business owners and people around the area attending Fort Ligonier Days 2021, Ilmer says that this year he believes the event will serve as an opportunity for those businesses to bounce back, given that there was a lack of chances both this year and the previous year, 2020.
People like it and it's outdoor, different variety of foods, a parade, and everything here. Why you shouldn't be here? A lot of people should be here.
The story behind Fort Ligonier Days and the very existence of this town lies in the battles that rung out on these very lands on October 12th, 1758. The French and Native Americans tried to take over the fort with force, but in the end, they failed. If you come to Fort Ligonier, prepare to be surrounded by armor, weapons, and history. Even George Washington's pistols. The difference today is that they are behind glass. That being said, the excitement for this occasion is still here and will live on for centuries. In Westmoreland County, Stoker Wyzorek, IUP News.
Aside from hitting the books, some athletes can't wait to get back on the field. Specifically, this semester's rugby team at IUP, says our reporter Eric Beswick.
Rugby. a sport that IUP has been familiar with, and IUP's team's success has been promising so far in the recent years. IUP Rugby has been performing great ever since they started playing again after the pandemic.
So since COVID has ended, obviously we just won the national championship last spring, ARU championship for our conference play, and we're looking to continue it into this new fall semester.
With the success they've had in previous seasons, they're looking to keep the ball rolling.
We look to sustain success by bringing in a bunch of new rookies that are really stepping up to the plate. Plus, we got a good group of older guys that know what they're doing and are really filling in the shoes of who we were missing last year. Kind of just filling in all the gaps that we needed to fill.
And with all of that, this season has gotten off to an absolutely great start.
I feel the team's performance so far is the best I've seen it so far since I've been up here. A lot of work to do. And RJ, you can touch on this.
Basically, after every Saturday game going into Monday, we send a big group chat, text message saying 0-0, so we don't get too cocky or anything, and we just keep taking it week by week. Rankings don't mean anything right now, but I'm very pleased on what the team has been doing. They've really taken that new week, new opponent to heart, and it's been showing on the field, so looking just to continue that.
Having started off 5-0, they'll be looking to keep the pressure on their division and keep winning. This has been Eric Beswick for IUP TV.
Hello everyone, I'm Donovan Carrington with this week's IUP Sports News. Starting off, the men and women's swimming and diving teams will be having their first meet Friday at Clarion, PA at 5 p.m. With the season just starting this week, let's hope they start the season off strong. Next up is women's soccer, where they will be going up against Clarion on Saturday at 1 p.m. It will also be senior night at the game, so shout out to our senior players: Elena Ryan, Aislinn Meany, Cassidy Zandier, Molly Kutzman, Camille Gonzalez Toledo, Samantha Gildner, and Davion Anderson. Field hockey is up next, and with their disappointing loss in overtime to Westchester, they are looking to play against the Bloomsburg Huskies at Bloomsburg this Saturday at 1 p.m. The football team has been on a hot streak as they won against Cal U last week with a score of 22-21 at the Coal Bowl. It was an extremely tight game, but IUP remains undefeated. It is playing at Edinburgh this Saturday at noon. Some exciting news for you golf fans, as the IUP men's golf team is going to be participating at the PSAC Championship this Friday. The championship will be from this Friday to Sunday at the Iron Valley Golf Club, so let's show our golf team some support. Wrapping this up with women's volleyball, they have a double hitter this Friday and Saturday. Starting with Friday, they will be going up against our longtime rival Slippery Rock this Friday at the KCAC at 6 p.m. On Saturday, they will be up at Edinburgh and playing at 4 p.m. That's all for sports this week. Tune in every Thursday for more updates.
Your future beckons, calling from a place where there's plenty of room to grow, where possibilities are abundant, where you'll be challenged every day to uncover the best version of you, where you can blossom. The place, IUP. Here, like the clusters of oaks in our renowned oak grove, we're united in helping you reach new heights. Ready to heed the call? Get in the grove at IUP.
If you haven't heard yet, IUP News is collaborating with our local radio station, 90.1 WIUP FM, where you can also receive up-to-date stories produced by IUP students coming from multiple backgrounds.
If you're interested to volunteer and produce local stories with our team, please contact one of us on our website, iup.godaddyscites.com.
On Saturday, a cleanup is scheduled for Blue Spruce Park. Volunteers are encouraged to arrive before 9 a.m. and will be provided with trash bags, gloves, and vests.
Indiana University of Pennsylvania's Institute for Cybersecurity, in collaboration with the IT Support Center, will host the 15th Annual Cybersecurity Day on October 18th. This event features nationally recognized security experts as well as speakers from regional law enforcement, government, the security industry, and academics. Admission is free and open to the community in the Hub Ohio room.
Our question of the week: do you live on or off campus and why? Comment your answer on our Instagram at IUP_news. That will do it for IUP News this week. On the next show, we'll have stories about things like a Love for Life 5K and the creative side of IUP students. I'm Matt Palumbo.
And I'm Hannah Caminetti. On behalf of the IUP News team, we want to thank you for choosing us as your local news source.
And don't forget to listen to our news show on 90.1 WIUP FM every Tuesday at 4 p.m. And follow our Instagram page at IUP_news. With that being said, I'm Donovan Carrington. Please take care and good night.